That's super nice.
All right, so that's actually recording everything we just
So we're
said.
talking about Clash Royale.
All right, hey, we're back. It's been
3 years.
3 years. We're back. We have a different table. We have the same terrain. A little bit different armies. A little bit
Fully
different
painted
setup.
armies.
We actually have some fully painted armies now, so people won't complain that much. Hopefully. Anyway, we're doing 1995, right? Here's 1995.
Yeah.
Okay. We're doing that because that's what Adepticon's points were, and we actually went to Adepticon.
Yeah,
So that was
awesome.
a lot of fun.
Good times.
It was a lot of fun. Some of the people in our group earned some new nicknames, so that's good.
Finn McCool's.
Shout out to
Finn McCool's was awesome.
Shout out to Finn McCool's.
Yeah, Finn McCool's was awesome. And all we gotta say is like the food and the alcohol costs way less there than it does here in Colorado.
Yeah.
So we went out there with way more money than we probably should have, but that's alright. So, yep. Today we're gonna play Undead versus Ratkin. We're playing, I think, is yours the exact same list as what you had?
I changed it
A little different.
Okay.
Mine is the same list. I was actually working on my elves, and then we found out that 3rd edition's coming out.
Yeah. I was gonna start Abyssal, and I'm like, nope, I'll hold off till 3rd comes out.
Yeah. So, also, if you guys are hearing some static or some feedback, that is the air conditioning unit. Sorry, it is what it is. We're getting microphones so that way you guys can hear us better.
I will officially be the boom mic operator.
Yes. He likes to have big black things in his hands, so
I just want to stick it in Tom's mouth.
hey, cool. Now the AC went off. So yeah, we've been away for a while.
Yeah. We're still playing, but
We're still playing.
no battle reports.
Just stopped doing battle reports for a little while. You know, life got busy. So we will go over everything and get started with the game here. We do have a new gaming mat. Like I said, new table. All of it's portable. So, and it is actually that short. Tom is actually that tall too. So for regular people, that's about the height. I'm sure you guys can probably see it in the bottom frame. For short people like me, it's actually pretty well. Your average.
Sweet.
Your average.
Like the best
For really tall people like that, you're going to bend
It's a little
over.
hard on the back.
But this is actually a modular table. We'll talk about that probably on another episode. So. All right, well, we'll talk about what we got. All right, so for the Ratkin, we have a Horde of Blight with Blessing of the Gods, I believe. We have a Blight Lord with Banechant and Blizzard. We have another Horde of Blight with Fire Oil, I believe is what they had. And then we had a Horde of Brutes. And let's see here, on the other side of this bastion here, we had a Horde of Shock Troops. I know that one of them had Brew of Strength. We have a Horde of Brutes in the back there. We have 2 Death Engines. There's one right there, and then one behind this other Horde of Shock Troops. And then another Blight Lord with Inspiring and Lightning Bolt and Banechant. Alright, so for the Undead, we have Pappy, or Apaphis, Champion of Death, back there in the back. In front, we have a Horde of Werewolves. Right next to another Horde of Werewolves. That's holding down my right flank. In the middle, we have a regiment of mummies, actually 2 regiments of mummies, and then a Lich King in the back. The Lich King has the Shroud of the Saint. I have a Horde of Revenants right there in the front, and I have a Horde of Wights in the back with Blessing of the Gods. And then here, I have a Vampire on an Undead Pegasus. This is kind of an overview of the table. We have 2 obstacles, some impassable. We have a forest, a hill, another piece of impassable, another forest, and then back on the other side we have another hill. Alright, so turn 1, just so you guys are aware, the scenario is control. So at the end of the game, divide the board into 2-foot by 2-foot squares, and whoever has the most unit strength in each square or all together eventually wins. So I drew the short end of the stick, so I ended up going first. And of course with the undead, it's a slow army except for a couple of fast units, but I didn't want to stick those fast units out too far too fast and let them get killed. So I moved kind of cautiously and moved forward towards his battle line. Tom did something that I was not expecting. I haven't faced this Ratkin list of his, and this one is a lot more shooty than I'm used to. So his death engines did a lot of work on my werewolves. It was a good thing that I had a Pathos back there for inspiring. Alright, we had a little bit of shooting. Shot the hell out of the werewolves.
A couple of vile sorceries from the death engines.
Yep. Did 7 wounds.
From the warlock.
Yeah, you added some shooting in there.
Yeah.
Some shooting from the death engines and from the warlock. And then some shooting over here from your...
The blizzard.
Yeah, blizzard, yeah. Yes, that is the only unpainted model in here. So sorry, please forgive us. You hit my undead lord on a Pegasus. Did a couple wounds there. Everybody held, so that's good. So we will go on to turn 2.
Turn 2.
Alright, so on to turn 2. Again, my plan, it was just to move up, keep the rest of my army, everything kind of cohesive and together, and then, obviously hit hard with my werewolves. I like to use them as kind of like a glass hammer a little bit. However, you have to keep them alive, and of course they're getting shot, so I need to heal them back. I'm also trying to get around his left flank with my vampire on an undead Pegasus. He's starting to rotate his Horde of Blight, which is exactly what I want. I want him to pretty much have to reorient one whole horde, which then obviously I'm taking out one horde from the fight, at least for right now, slowing down part of his line, which I really need to do, especially since on the left flank, on my left flank at least, he really has an advantage there with those hordes spread out on the side. Of course then, at this point I need to start healing. I got to keep those werewolves alive. So I tried to heal with my Lich King. I didn't feel like I did as well as I normally do with heal, but it is what it is. Some games are like that. Alright, so bottom of turn 2. This is Tom's, part of his turn pretty much. So he refaces the Horde of Blight, pretty much because unfortunately it's out of frame here, you can't see it, but my vampire cannot charge this turn, so I'm going to need at least take a turn to reface. He starts moving his brutes over as well from his left flank over to the middle of his battle line, kind of possibly trying to deny some of those rear charges and flanks if my vampire gets over there further. And then he starts setting up a nice little double charge with his unit of Blight through that obstacle and the unit of brutes in there in the middle, and just shoots the hell out of my units. So into turn 2, did some more wounds on the werewolves. I healed them back, and then
Did
put
some
more
more
wounds on. So they are wavered.
How many wounds did I do?
Clevered.
Oh, you did a lot.
Clevered.
They went up to, they're at 12 now.
Yes, so 11. Like 11 wounds or something.
Yeah,
Zero.
yeah, 11 wounds.
Yeah.
So definitely the Ratkin shootiness of this is definitely coming out. I can only heal so much every turn, so that's
You
going to
got a
hurt.
really good heal last time.
I did.
What he was heal 8 and he heals 6 of them.
Yeah.
So
Gotta like
that's
it.
kind of above average.
Gotta like the heal.
You know what? Sometimes
a little bit of
that's what they
movement.
call it, above average.
A little bit of movement and a little bit of shooting.
I'm just kind of waiting for him to come in, hopefully.
Yeah, you like it when it comes, don't you? Wait, where's the
I
cat?
kind of stacked too much on this side.
Too much? You stacked a lot.
Yeah.
I think it was just my
He's
werewolves.
gonna get here and it's gonna be trouble.
If he takes this side
Yeah.
pretty quick, you're fucked.
I don't know how I'm gonna take this side pretty quick.
Yeah, as soon as you get the blight. Yeah. But
Well, we gotta remember the scenario.
Control.
Control.
Yeah.
So 2-foot quarters, obviously there's nothing over there, so that's gonna hurt me. I'm pretty much just banking
Shout
on
out
taking
to
something over here. What's that?
Shout out to the White Claw.
White Claw, seltzer water. You can get drunk and be hydrated. Yeah.
And in Colorado with the high altitude, you need that. You gotta stay hydrated.
I drink so much in fucking
Alright,
Ohio.
go on to turn
It's like-
3. Alright, so on to turn 3. Spoiler alert, this turn, really does showcase the rest of the game. I move up. I obviously have to face this battle line in the middle. Try and slow down the Blight. I'm thinking, if the Blight charge in, they're going to be a -1 for charging through the obstacle. My horde of Revenants that are completely untouched can take care of them. And obviously I'm moving my mummies up into the forest and moving Apathis up as well and just stacking my werewolves. I do this because I'm trying to obviously save the one werewolf group that is wavered so that way I can heal them back. I put the other werewolf horde right out there in the middle. I'm contemplating if I should start charging stuff now. Things are starting to really get shot up pretty good, more than I expected at this point in the game. I'm trying to figure out what to do with my vampire as well. I really have to use him to kind of make some mayhem. I've used him before in games, and he's gotten some rear charges on some of these hordes, and has done really, really well for me. So I'm trying to figure it out. However, I decided to move away because he is doing a lot of shots with Blizzard, and it's really, really hurting my dude, and I don't want to waste a 245-point hero unit just on some Blizzard shots. Plus, he's refaced his horde, so he's obviously ignoring him at this point. So I'm losing some of the benefit that I had with having him over on that side. So I'm trying to get myself in such a way where his dude can't shoot me for at least a turn, so that I can possibly get him back to my battle line, get him healed up, maybe use him for a late game push, charge, inspire, something like that. So at this point, though, I'm just really hoping that my battle line up on my middle and right flank can hold a couple turns, and that I can start doing some damage. Unfortunately, with the undead, especially this type of undead army, it is kind of slow. I don't like to shamble until I have to, because unfortunately, I feel like it holds a unit out sometimes, which can then get flanked, charged if it's not supported by the rest of the battle line. So that's kind of what's going on here. I heal some wounds back, which obviously, if you're going to run this type of undead army, you have to have heal, or at least hide a whole bunch of nerve. You got to have something. And for the werewolves, with 15, 17 nerve, you have to focus on healing them. So Tom shot off one unit of my horde of werewolves that was wavered. He shot that down with his death engine, which it's a monster, so it can see over things. Obviously, the height was not an issue. And then he charged into my other unit of werewolves through the forest with his horde of shock troops, and I actually think this is the horde that has the fire oil, which is a great 5-point item, especially if you're playing against somebody that has regen, and I have 2 units of mummies that have regen. So I'm thinking, though, he's charging through the forest. I might get lucky and be able to hold off. I have a unit that's full strength, but as you can see, he rolled awesome and wiped out that horde of werewolves. So that's kind of my glass hammer there. Typically I use them as flankers, but this game I was trying something a little bit different. Sorry, I'm trying to get some cool video and photo there. And that's just bad for me, obviously. He just got rid of 2 of my hordes that do a lot of damage, even with charging into a forest. That really did not make a difference. So now my battle line on the right flank is really starting to look a little bit rough.
Alright, so end of turn 3. This guy got shot a bunch, but
Insane
thank
courage.
you for the insane courage roll. I got shot by that dude with Blizzard. Blizzard is nasty.
D5s hit both of them,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah.
This side looks way different now. I lost both of my werewolf units. One of them got picked off with some shooting by that guy, and the other one got picked off by the shock troops, which obviously he Bane chanted them.
With a little Bane chant.
Yeah, so Bane chanted shock troops, 25 attacks, elite, vicious, and Bane and crushing 2, right?
Bane chant.
Yeah, that is a nasty unit.
Crushing 1 normal, but
So that was bad. They did like 10 wounds or something, and then he rolled 8 both
I
times.
rolled fairly terrible. I had a bunch of like 1s, thank God for the elite, but 5 wounds.
And
werewolves.
Yeah.
And the vicious didn't come into play.
No, it was 10. You
twos.
rolled 10 wounds, didn't you?
10 wounds, yeah.
Yeah.
10. Yeah.
And then, so of course he had 10, and then he rolled an 8 both times on the nerve, because I have Pappy right there for inspiring, which didn't matter. So yeah, this is already looking really bad for me. Really
He's got
bad.
a center, the island. It's gonna hold.
I've got the center right here. Is it going to hold
Looks
though?
like you get a flank.
is it going to hold?
Yeah.
What?
What?
A flank.
Mummies. Yeah.
I mean, I guess if I shamble them, yeah,
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
I could try.
Yeah, that's
I could try.
probably
We'll
not a
see.
bad idea, 'cause
We'll see.
White are kind of nasty, but the revenants and the whites can probably hold them off.
So anyway, this is what we're looking
Or
at
is
at
the
the end
turn
of
two?
turn 3,
Yeah, top of
because we've been
top
shooting.
four.
Yeah, don't ever hold back when you see that your opponent has shooting with the Ratkin, because that just will whittle you down. Even better than my.
Dude, the piercing too is nice.
Oh yeah, and by the way, the death engines right here. These guys are nasty. What are they? D6.
D6 or D6 plus 7.
D6 plus 7.
Piercing too.
Piercing.
Piercing 2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
vile sorcery.
that hurts. That hurts really bad. So.
Trying out. Pretty impressed by him.
And by the way, all of these models, yes, that one is a custom model, but all these models are old GW models, we know. But unfortunately, Mantic does not make any Ratkin models, and I don't think you want to try and convert a whole bunch of Veermen.
No.
So,
No.
yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon. So, all right, we'll get on to turn 4, and more undead are going to die again, because they're already dead.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, so far you've only killed
Sounds
stuff that's
about right,
already
yeah.
that's actually alive.
Yeah, I killed the live stuff first.
You killed the live stuff. So, all right, here we go.
So, turn 4. If you're keeping count, I am getting my butt kicked. At this point, it's run away, so I'm flying my dude that magically survived, getting him out of danger a little bit. I want to heal him up, and again, try and use him for some inspiring or some flanks or something late game. He did his job for one turn, and then once Tom came to his senses and turned his unit back around, then it was kind of all done, especially with the other unit, with the other horde back there, or not horde, with the other Blight Lord back there shooting with Blizzard. I just couldn't hang out for too long. So at this point, I decide to move my mummies. I have to do, obviously, something with my mummies. And this is I guess, a part where I had to think about quite a bit. Should I stand there, take a charge? I'm in the forest. It's a -1. Or should I bring the fight to him and try and at least slow down some of this battle line? One horde of shock troops is still facing Pappy, so I'm hoping maybe I can get lucky, tie them up for a couple turns, maybe take out one of those death engines with a regiment of mummies, and maybe my other mummies can stick around for a little while. I mean, I had great luck with the mummies at Adepticon. They seem to hold pretty well. Unfortunately, they do not hold very well against somebody with fire oil, conveniently enough. But anyway, sometimes it just is what it is. So I am charging with Pappy. I'm charging into the horde. I elect to forego the death engine and charge into the horde, because obviously the death engine can't see me where I am, so it's going to take him a turn to turn around, and I'll just attack the horde. They can do some damage to me, but I'm hoping that Pappy can at least hold up that horde for a couple of turns, slow down that far right flank so that he can't completely encircle me, so that way it can give me a little time to grind out the middle. That's what this army is meant to do, is to grind. It's not doing a very good job of it this game, but that's what the army is designed to do. I decide to, I think right here, I just actually decide to move up my revenants, trying to avoid a flank. However, I know that he might double charge me, and I'm thinking, that's alright. I've got a horde of revenants, Fearless 24. I'm going to move some inspiring over there, or at least be in inspiring range. I'm sorry, not inspiring range, but at least be able to heal over there. I'm not worried about inspiring at this point. I also mismeasured my vampire and thought that I was a little bit closer, so that way he could do some inspiring, but that was my fault. And I'm thinking, all right, yeah, even if he double charges, he's still going to have a pretty good round of combat to take out the revenants in one turn. Those are blight. They're not his shock troops. So me being stupid, I'm thinking that I can stand with the blight and the brutes for a turn. So I'm attacking with the mummies. I charge through a forest, -1s, but I'm thinking crushing 2. I could possibly do some wounds. I do a couple wounds on them, nothing too crazy. The mummies are they're not usually going to be your hammer unit. They're normally more of an anvil unit, and in my army they are definitely more of an anvil unit, unless I'm able to get that lucky flank. But at this point, my hammer units are practically gone except for the whites, so I'm just trying to slow him down enough and just win, hopefully get lucky with some nerve rolls, which unfortunately do not happen. But still trying to get lucky with some of these rolls and put some wounds on him, at least make the game somewhat respectable. On to Tom's part of the turn. He's continuing to bolster the middle line with those brutes. Obviously, he thinks, and he thinks rightfully, that his left flank is pretty well wrapped up. So might as well move stuff into the middle and try and help bolster that middle line. Obviously, he's worried about the whites and the revenants, especially against the blight and one horde of brutes. So he's thinking that he might need to reinforce the middle of that battle line of his. Tom decides to charge in, does a double charge through the obstacle with the blight, and hits with the brutes. Again, we both kind of figured that was going to happen. I just hoped that my guys could hold out, so hopefully they do. Obviously, like he does, he moves up his support, but he's also still thinking about the scenario, even though at this point in the game, I'm just trying to kill stuff. Obviously, there's no way at this point that I'm going to have enough unit strength to be close to winning. But sometimes you still got to stand there and play a good game, even though you know it's probably gonna not turn out well. You just try and make the best of it and try and have as much fun as possible, not just for you, but also for your opponent as well. So. Tom does quite a bit of wounds from that horde charging back into my mummies, and completely wipes them off the board. Regen, or the fire oil really hurts, because then that makes them a crushing 3, even against my defense 5. It just completely destroys them. And of course, I did not kill his death engine, so now my other unit of mummies is stuck right there in the middle. Hopefully you guys aren't watching these battle reports for tactics, because obviously we all have our bad days as far as tactics go. Hindsight is always 20/20. There's a lot of things I should have done differently, and I don't ever pretend to be better of a player than I am. That's for sure. I am definitely not a master tactician at this game, but like most of us, I just love the game and want to play the game regardless of of how many losses I take. But Tom continues to roll those damn red dice. I swear those red dice are either have magic involved with them, or they've been baked in the oven a little bit, because damn, those things roll amazing. Doesn't matter what he's doing. So here he attacks the revenants and just whoops up on the revenants, just completely demolishes them.
Well, for our first game back, you're angry, or your dice are angry.
I guess.
Wiped out a horde of revenants. And let's just break this down for everybody. This horde was hindered. That horde was not.
10.
That horde,
10,
30 attacks.
30 attacks.
Needing 5s to hit.
But I had brute strength and danger.
That's where the average came out.
So that's where it came out.
But it needed 5s to hit. So realistically, you should have hit
10
with 10.
Yeah.
You should have hit alone with 10, and then
7.
and then you still needed 3s. You should have wounded with about 7.
So
10. That was pretty damn good. And then over here, you hit with 14. Or I'm sorry, you had 14 attacks, right?
18 attacks.
18 attacks.
Yeah.
With crushing 2.
With 4s. That was just nasty. So he ended up doing a 27.
Yeah,
and
the
my
Christian
dude was
too
right
makes
out
a
of the
big
way.
difference.
Not too much to take old 27.
Yeah, that was. But I'm not talking so much about them. I'm talking about them right there. That was just nasty.
They did good. They were
For
about
being
three,
hindered.
3 above. Yeah, they should have been. That's not bad.
All right, so let's see here. What else did you wipe out?
I wiped out the mummies over here.
That's right.
Because
That was
sure,
just
with
nasty.
fire oil and Bane Chan.
That was just nasty
Do
work.
work on that.
So yeah, pretty much what I have left on the board is I have the mummies, I have Pappy, I've got the whites, and I've got my little vampire dude, which has bravely ran away. He's gonna survive. But
Pappy's in trouble.
at this point, I am gonna call it actually. Sorry everybody, but I am actually gonna call it.
It might kill you.
All right, Tom, good game, man.
Good game.
We'll see the good game handshake there. That was nasty. And I'm gonna go find myself a donut so that I can sit down on. Got my ass reamed there. So yeah, we'll try and get this one out, and we'll try and get going on the channel again. Sorry that we've been gone for 3 years,
Yeah.
but
Hopefully we do some more here
yeah.
more often.
yeah, we got some models that are finally painted. So that'll be nice. We'll actually be able to showcase some stuff like that. It'll actually be hopefully a little better of a channel. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you guys.